Hey, this is Randy. Did you know that medical researchers use polynomials to describe the behavior of bacterial colonies? Yeah, it's pretty crazy how useful polynomials really are. Let's learn how to subtract them. So here we have the first two polynomials we're going to try to subtract. And you can see that the first polynomial has nothing in front of it, right? Just immediately starts with this parenthesis and 6x squared. When that is the case, when there is no sign or number in front of this polynomial, we can rewrite that part with no parentheses. So let's do that. We can write 6x squared minus 4x plus 8. Now, things get more interesting because now we have a minus right here. What does that mean? Well, it's like saying there's a negative 1 that's being distributed. So I'm going to write this negative 1 right here. Negative 1 being distributed to that negative x squared and to that 2x. So let's distribute that and then rewrite the expression once we've distributed. So negative 1, let me erase this error right here. Negative 1 times negative x squared. Well, negative times negative is positive, so it's going to be a positive what? Well, it's like saying 1x squared or x squared, right? So that became positive, x squared. And now let's distribute the negative 1 to the 2x. So negative 1 times 2x is going to be a negative, right? Negative what? Well, negative 1 times 2 is negative 2, right? So it's going to be minus 2x. Now we have gotten rid of all the parentheses, so we can just combine like terms. So 6x squared and x squared are like terms. So let's combine those. 6x squared plus 1x squared is 7x squared. So 7x squared. And then we have negative 4x and negative 2x. Those combined would be negative 6x, right? Negative 4 of something minus 2 of something is negative 6 of that something. So minus 6x. And we still have positive 8, but the 8 has no like term, so we're just going to rewrite that. So plus 8. And there you can see that we have exactly the answer we should get. Let's do another example like this. This time we have a cubed term. So the instructions here are exactly the same. They're just worded differently. Instead of saying subtract, they're just saying find the difference. So here we have nothing in front of this parenthesis, right? We have no sign and no number. So we can just rewrite that first polynomial with no parentheses. So we're going to say negative 4r plus 5. Now, once again, we have a negative right here. So we're going to distribute this as if it's a negative 1 to the rest of that polynomial. So let's write a 1 right here. We're going to do negative 1 times negative r cubed. Well, that's going to be a positive r cubed. So plus r cubed. And let's see what's next here. Now we're going to do the negative 1 times the 2r. So negative 1 times 2r would be a negative 2r. So we're going to write minus 2r. Minus 2r. Just like that. And now we're going to do negative 1 times 5 is minus 5. So minus 5. All right, very good. Now we just need to combine like terms. And as usual, we want to make sure that our answer is always in standard form. So we'll adjust our simplification at the end to make sure that we have this r cubed in front. Because that's the biggest exponent is the 3. Okay, cool. So negative 4r, what like terms do we have with that? Well, we have a minus 2r, right? So negative 4r minus 2r is negative 6r. We're going to say negative 6r. Now we have a 5 and a negative 5, but 5 minus 5 is 0, right? So let's cancel, so we don't need to write anything. And we still have a, let's see, r cubed. So 6r, negative 6r plus r cubed is our final answer, but we still need to put it in standard form, right? In one sense, it's the final answer because we cannot combine any more like terms, but we're going to change the order here. So we're going to say r cubed minus 6r. And now we have standard form because the exponents are going in descending order. And there you go. That is exactly what we should get. So you'll notice that subtracting polynomials is not really very different from adding polynomials. Probably the hardest part is remembering to distribute this -1 to each of the terms in the second polynomial. And it's really easy to forget to do that. And also when we have like a double negative, like in this first part, we have -1 times -r. It's really easy to accidentally write a negative there instead of a positive like we should. So we got to be very careful with that. And with that, we are finished with the video on subtract polynomials. Remember to always be clever.